Welcome to my 2020 NBA Duos list. This is a ranking from 30 to 1, every NBA team. It is harder than you think. If you disagree with anything, which obviously there will be some disagreements, this is an NBA debate. I will rank your team. I know there will be some heated fans in the comment section. So if you disagree with me, comment your list from 1 to 30 because it is harder than you think. It's not as easy as doing a 1 to 10 or a 1 to 15. Doing 1 to 30 is not easy. So I promise you, if you disagree with me, let me know why and comment your own 1 to 30 list of the greatest NBA duos in the league for 2020. And these guys are players that are currently injured as well. So the list includes guys like Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Paul George, because obviously if we're discussing an NBA duos list, we want to discuss the best duos in the league, and I think it's important to include guys like John Wall as well, because at the end of the day, the duo in Washington is not Bradley Beal and Isaiah Thomas, it's John Wall and Bradley Beal, and it's not Kyrie and Karis LeVert, it's Kyrie and Kevin Durant, so include the injured guys as well. With that said, if you enjoy these types of videos, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification button, and follow me on Instagram to see what I get up to in my personal life. With that said, I hope you guys enjoy the video. At number 30, and this one is pretty obvious because they clearly do not have a duo, it's the Charlotte Hornets. They have Terry Rozier as their main player, and then you would probably say it's Nicholas Batum as the duo, but hopefully soon it will be Bridges because he seems like a guy that really can prove himself in the league, but at this stage, he just hasn't really produced, and it's simply because he was on his rookie year last year, but the Charlotte Hornets are clearly at number 30. At number 29, I have the Cleveland Cavaliers. They have an older player in Kevin Love and a second-year player in Colin Sexton, who hopefully it will be a younger player in a trade for Kevin Love and he can be a duo to Colin Sexton. But as of now, with Kevin Love being injured last season, I have to rank this duo at 29. At number 28, I have a very young duo in Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. By the end of the year, hopefully they rise on this list, but as of now, considering Ja Morant hasn't played a game yet, and Jaren Jackson, well, he did show what he could become and his potential, but as of now, he is nowhere near a star player, or a superstar, or an all-star. But his potential to be one of those three is definitely there. At number 27, I have the New York Knicks. Julius Randle really showcased what he could be in the league last season. He obviously went to the New York Knicks and it's basically his team now. They also paired him up with RJ Barrett. Obviously it's hard to rank a rookie, but I think next season it will be the duo of Julius Randle and RJ Barrett. And hopefully Mitchell Robinson can fit in alongside them too and maybe make a big three in the future. But if you're a Knicks fan, I would still be excited for Randle and Barrett. But as of now, they just need to prove themselves next season. At number 26, this was a very hard choice. I have the Chicago Bulls, and I just need to see one more season out of LaVine and Markkanen together to really put them higher on this list. I find it hard to put them any higher on this list simply because the guys above them have already proven why they are on this list and deserving of a higher spot. For LaVine and Markkanen, they didn't really have a good record last season. Markkanen was injured. LaVine was a little bit inconsistent but definitely had his best season. I just think they have a lot more to give. At number 25, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's a very interesting duo. I don't have Shai Gilgeous. It could be Steven Adams, but I've got Chris Paul, who I think will have a better season outside of Houston. It will be interesting to see where he goes or if he stays. And I also have Gallinari, who, let's be honest, had an amazing season last year for the Clippers, averaged 20 points per game. So if we're talking about Markkanen versus Gallinari, I'm taking Gallinari off last season alone. And Chris Paul, I would have over LaVine. So that's why I chose the Thunder duo over the Bulls, but I know some Bulls fans are going to be upset about that one. At number 24, I have the Orlando Magic duo in Aaron Gordon and Nikola Vucevic. Vuz obviously was an all-star last season, and Aaron Gordon really has the potential to take that next step next season. He's a guy that actually is a very good defender. It actually goes unnoticed how good he is on the defensive end, and that is something that I might bring light to in the future on this channel, but as of now, I think he's underrated on defense. He's got a lot more to give on offense, and I think with Vuz, they make a good duo, and I think alongside the Orlando Magic young core, they may make some noise in the Eastern Conference this season. At number 23, I have Zion Williamson and Drew Holiday. Now, this is really interesting because obviously Zion is a rookie and he hasn't proven anything in the league. But I put this duo higher on this list than, let's say, the New York Knicks, RJ Barrett, or Ja Morant, because I really do believe Zion is a step above these guys. And I do believe that he'll come out a better player already than a guy like Markkanen, Gallinari, or Aaron Gordon. And obviously that may take some time at the beginning, but I do believe he'll have a Trae Young, Luka Doncic type season in his rookie year. And that, I guess, tells the whole story of how good I think Zion will be. And then Jrue Holiday, obviously incredible on defense, goes underrated in my opinion, but hopefully it's Lonzo Ball that actually replaces him in the future, and it's a Zion Williamson-Lonzo Ball duo in the future. That would be really cool, but as of now, I think you have to stick with Jrue Holiday. At number 22, I have the Phoenix Suns duo in Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. Obviously, Devin Booker had an amazing season last year, one of the top scorers in the league, but it didn't translate to wins. DeAndre Ayton in his rookie year actually played very well. He averaged a double-double. He was obviously not as good as Luka Doncic or Trae Young, but he definitely wasn't far behind. I think the duo alone, despite the rest of the team, the duo alone is looking very promising. I just think they have to build around them, and they haven't really done that in Phoenix. But if we're looking at just the duo, I think they are very, very promising, and I do expect them to have very good stat lines next season. Hopefully it can translate to a few more wins, and if they can get a few more wins, then that will, I guess, demonstrate why I had them as high as 22 on this list, ahead of duos like Levine and Markkanen, Randall and Barrett, Vucevic and Gordon. But Devin Booker averaged just under 27 points last season. DeAndre Ayton averaged a double-double and is only going to improve, as big men tend to take longer to develop in the league. It's hard to put a guy that averaged 27 points and what looks like a future great big man in the league below 22. In saying that, we already know a future Hall of Fame big man in the making, and that is Karl-Anthony Towns. I have the Minnesota Timberwolves duo just a little bit ahead of the Phoenix Suns duo, and it's literally because Karl-Anthony Towns is that good. 24 points and 12 rebounds with pretty solid defense and obviously incredible offense. It's Towns that really brings up this duo, because obviously Andrew Wiggins is not on that elite level yet, but neither is a guy like DeAndre Ayton. But a guy that averaged 18 points on 41% shooting needs some work, but it's still 18 points in the NBA. So Wiggins and Towns as a duo, I rank just a little bit higher than Booker and Ayton, but it is very close. I'm just hoping that Andrew Wiggins can finally take that next step, because he still is only 23 years old, but the way that his career has panned out, it doesn't seem likely. But I mean, he did once average 23.6 points per game at the age of 21, so you really never know what he could become, since 23 is still extremely young. At number 20, I have a very young duo of De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. Yes, Buddy Hield is not as young as people like to think. He is obviously 26 years old, hitting 27 next season, so that is a little bit concerning for a younger duo, but I do think De'Aaron Fox brings it up because he really is a solid player in this league. Same with the next team. At number 19, I have the Atlanta Hawks duo in Trae Young and John Collins. They just need a little bit more time to develop, but I do see them rising up on this list as the season progresses. At number 18, I have the Miami Heat duo, Goran Dragic and Jimmy Butler. Goran Dragic only a few seasons ago was an all-star. He did have injury concerns last year, but if he can bounce back to anywhere near all-star form, him alongside Jimmy Butler could do some damage in the East. Jimmy Butler obviously brings this duo up because he is a star player, but obviously as a Heat fan, I do find it a little bit concerning as we don't really have a duo. It's more so a heart-filled team with guys like Justice Winslow, Bam Adebayo, James Johnson, Goran Dragic, all to mesh around a guy like Jimmy Butler. Whereas a team like the Washington Wizards, who's next on this list, is unlike the Miami Heat, as they don't really have a team, but they have a duo. And that is why they rank higher on this list. I would suggest that the Heat will have a better record than the Wizards because it's based on the team, but as of the duo, I would have Bradley Beal and John Wall. Bradley Beal is obviously a star player in this league. John Wall is interesting because he has been pretty unhealthy over the last few seasons, but if John Wall can bounce back anywhere near how he was before he got his injuries, then it's still a great duo, and definitely a duo that is still one of the better duos in the league when healthy and meshing. At number 16, I have the Toronto Raptors. Pascal, I think he'll take that next step. Kyle Lowry always plays his role. We know how he is. He's an all-star type player. He will give you the same input every night. At number 15, I have the Indiana Pacers duo, Victor Oladipo and Miles Turner. It's a young duo. Victor's coming back from injury. Miles Turner will develop even more this season, so I think it's going to be interesting to see how they play together. Plus, the Indiana Pacers were a real surprise team last season, and that was really due to the impact that Turner had on the defensive end, and Oladipo brought both defensively but especially offensively before his injury. At number 14, probably one of the most exciting duos that we're going to watch, Luka Doncic and Kristaps Porzingis. It's going to be interesting to see how they mesh together, but if Porzingis can play the way he played before his injury and even better, and Doncic just plays anywhere near how he played last season in just his rookie season, this duo is going to be scary for the future, but as of now, I rank them at number 14. The Boston Celtics duo of Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum. Kemba is proven, Tatum not so much, but I do believe that Kemba is a better fit for a guy like Jason Tatum who should take the next step next season. At number 12, I have the Detroit Pistons duo of Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond. Just because they play in Detroit, I think that they go under the radar a little bit, but Blake Griffin had an amazing season last year. Andre Drummond is still an elite defender and obviously a great rebounder. They go a little bit under the radar. It's going to be interesting to see if a duo like the Dallas Mavericks duo can rise above the duo of Blake Griffin and Drummond, but as of now, what we have seen and what's proven, I would take Blake and Drummond ahead of an injured Kristaps and a Doncic in his first season, but that could switch around either this season or in the future. At number 11, speaking of proven, the San Antonio Spurs duo in LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan. This duo is not fancy, it's not anything special, but it's a duo that is proven. Aldridge is one of the best big men in the league. DeMar DeRozan is still a great player on offense. It's a good duo. It's not an elite duo, but it's a duo that is definitely proven, and it's hard to put them inside the top 10, but definitely hard to rank them any lower than number 11. Now we're getting into the top 10, and this is where it gets very, very, very tricky, and I think a lot of people are going to be upset about this one, but hear me out. At number 10, the Denver Nuggets. Of course, the Denver Nuggets have an incredible team. It is led by Jokic and of course Jamal Murray, but if we're looking at the overall team, I would say that they have a very high rank. As a duo, I'm not the biggest fan of Jamal Murray. I think he's a great player. I don't believe he is a Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons, CJ McCollum sidekick to Jokic, if that makes sense. I would take Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert at number 9 ahead of the Denver Nuggets duo of Jokic and Murray. Jokic is obviously the better player out of all four. Jamal Murray is the worst player out of all four, if that makes sense. So I've got the Utah Jazz duo ahead of the Denver Nuggets. But then at number 8, I've got the Philadelphia 76ers duo. I still have faith in Ben Simmons to be one of the best players in the league. And Joel Embiid is obviously one of the greatest big men in the league. He needs to step up in the playoffs, and that's the one thing that I think is going to be interesting to watch next season. But I do believe he can make it to the NBA Finals, and once he does that, he will have all the confidence in the world. I have the Portland Trailblazers duo of Damian and CJ. We don't really need to get into that. We know what they bring. They're incredible. They definitely showcase what they could be last season. They eliminated the Thunder, which was at the time an upset, but I don't think they are better than a duo of Giannis and Middleton, Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, Harden and Westbrook, but I do think they are an incredible duo. And when push comes to shove, they will have the chemistry unlike many of the other duos in the league. At number 6, I have Giannis and Middleton. Giannis was obviously the MVP, but Chris Middleton kind of brings it down. Yes, of course, he was an all-star, but if we're really getting into it, is he better than James Harden, Klay Thompson, Stephen Curry, Kyrie, Durant? Probably not. So that's why they're ranking so low. But if it was Giannis and Klay, wow, they would be way higher. But obviously, Middleton brings it down. At number 5, I've got the Houston Rockets duo of James Harden and Russell Westbrook. This could go higher. I just don't know how they're going to mesh. Look, anytime you put two past MVPs on the same team, it's going to be interesting to watch. Whether they'll mesh at the start, who knows? But if they can mesh, they could easily rise on this list. The thing is, they're probably the biggest question mark out of any duo. Harden and Giannis were very similar last season. You could have picked James Harden as the MVP, and not many people would have disagreed with you. And if you're choosing between Westbrook and Middleton, I would take Westbrook, which is why I have them over Giannis and Middleton. At number 4, I have the Golden State Warriors duo of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. This is proven. They've won championships even before Kevin Durant got there. This is a proven duo, no matter if KD's there or not. When Klay gets back, this is still a duo that you don't want to mess with. Same with the next team, the Brooklyn Nets. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, insane. At times, Kevin Durant can look like the best player in the league in my opinion, and at times seem to almost play better than LeBron James when push comes to shove. But at the end of the day, he's coming off an Achilles injury. Kyrie is not better than a guy like Paul George. Kawhi Leonard, the finals MVP, showed why he is also a top 3 player in the league. So the duo of Kevin Durant and Kyrie is interesting. It's almost on par with Kawhi and Paul George, but I give Kawhi and Paul George just the edge. So that's the duo I have at number 2. And at number 1, I've got Davis and LeBron James. LeBron, to me, is still the greatest player in the league. Anthony Davis is still the greatest big man in the league. So that's who I have from number 30 to number 1. So that was the list from 30 to 1. Let me know what you guys thought about the list in the comment section down below, and if you disagree with anything, let me know and make your own list below. With that said, leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Instagram, and hit the notification button. I'll catch you guys in my next one. I'm out.